are going to discuss about kinematics. Kinematics is the branch of physics which deals with the motion of particles. There are three types of motion. One is one-dimensional motion, another is two-dimensional motion, and three-dimensional motion. One-dimensional motion is also called as linear motion. In physics we call it as rectilinear motion. It is also called as straight line motion. Straight line motion. Two-dimensional motion is nothing but motion in a plane. Motion in a plane which requires two components to describe the motion of the particle in plane. That is, when a particle is moving from here to here, its x component is changing as well as y component is changing. That means we require two coordinate axes to describe the motion of the particle in two-dimensional motion. One is x-axis, another is y-axis. Here in one-dimensional motion, we require only either x-axis to describe the motion of the particle if its position is changing along x-axis. If the particle is moving along y-axis, we require y component to describe the motion of the particle. And three-dimensional motion is called as motion in space. Motion in space. The best example for three-dimensional motion is nothing but motion of molecules or atoms. Motion of atoms. We also call it as motion in space. We require three coordinates to describe the position of the particle, to describe the motion of the particle. One is x-axis, another is y-axis, and another is z-axis. The rectangular coordinate system along with clock is called a frame of reference. Frame of reference. Today our main topic is straight line motion or one-dimensional motion. Here the main physical quantities that we are going to discuss about are distance. We also call it as path length, distance, and displacement. Distance is also called as the path length. Actual path followed by the particle is called as the distance. Student, if you want to move from point A to point B, we can go in different ways. One way is we can move from point A to point B like this, path 1. And also we can move from point A to point B like this. Consider this as path 2. We also move from point A to point B in different direction, in different path. Consider this as path 3. Among the three paths, the shortest distance from point A to point B is second path. The shortest distance from point A to point B is called as the displacement. The actual path followed by the particle is called as the distance or path length. So, see here in path 1, the actual path followed by the particle is called as the distance. So, distance is greater than displacement here. In second case, if the particle is moving from point A to point B, In second part, write this. Distance and displacements both are equal. Distance and displacements both are equal. Consider if we take a path 3, in this case the distance is this one and the displacement is this one. So in third path, distance is greater than displacement. That means distance is always greater than or equal to displacement. Distance is always greater than or equal to displacement. See here, we are going to discuss about position, path length, that means distance, and also displacement here. Let I am taking x-axis here. Consider this as the origin. Right side of the origin is nothing but positive x-axis and left side of the origin is nothing but negative x-axis. Consider the particle is moving from path from point O to point P like this. Consider this is 100, 200 meters, the position is 200 meters, position is 300 meters like this. Position is 300 meters like this. If a particle moves from point O to point P, point O to point P, the distance is, what is the distance here? Distance is equal to 300 meters. Distance is equal to 300 meters. If the particle moves from point O to P and P to Q, consider this is Q. What is the distance traveled? In that case, the distance traversed is equal to how much? OP plus PQ. That is equal to 300 meters plus 100 meters. The distance traveled is how much? 400 meters. 400 meters. If the particle moves from point O to P and again P to O, what is the distance in this case? Distance is equal to OP plus PO. That is 100 meters plus 100 meters. What is the total distance? Sorry, 300 meters and 300 meters. What is the total distance traversed here? 600 meters. 600 meters. This is all about distance. Next, we take here displacement. Displacement. Consider the particle initially at time t1. The particle position is, initial position is x1. And at time t2, the particle's final position is x2. Here x2 is equal to how much? 300 meters in this case. Consider the particle is moving from x1 to x2 in the time interval of t1 to t2. Okay. So the displacement is nothing but change in position. Change in position. Where the symbol is called as the delta. Delta means change in quantity. Change in quantity. Any quantity. Here x is nothing but what? Position. So here change in position. Delta x is nothing but change in position. So here delta x is nothing but delta x is equal to final position minus initial position. Delta x we call change in position is called as the displacement of the particle. Okay, where x2 is nothing but final position of the particle minus x1 is nothing but initial position of the particle. So here in this example, if particle moves from O to P, what is x1 here? 0 meters. What is x2 here? 300 meters. What is the displacement in this case? displacement delta x is equal to 300 meters minus 0 meters, which is equal to 300 meters. 300 meters. When a particle is moving from O to P, the distance is equal to 300 meters. Displacement is also equal to 300 meters. That means sometimes distance may be equal to displacement. And we see another case here for the displacement. When a particle moves from O to P and P to Q. O to P and P to Q. What is the distance traversed here? Distance traversed is equal to O to P plus P to Q. That is, O to P distance is 300 meters and P to Q distance is 100 meters. P to Q distance is 100 meters. So how much is the total? 400 meters is the distance traversed in this case. And here the displacement is nothing but change in position. That is final position minus initial position. Here, what is the final position here? Q. Q is the final position. So what is its value? X2 value is how much? X2 is equal to 200 meters minus. What is initial position? O. O is nothing but here x1 is equal to 0 meters. So here displacement is equal to 200 meters. So in this case, distance is greater than displacement. In this case, the distance is, when the particle moves from O to P, distance equal to 300 meters, displacement is also equal to 300 meters. That means, in this case, distance and displacements are equal. Here in this case, distance is 400 meters and displacement is 200 meters. From this we can conclude that distance is greater than or equal to displacement. Greater than or equal to displacement. Distance never be less than displacement. It is always greater than or equal to displacement. Another case. If particle moves from O to P and P to O again. O to P and P to O. Here, when a particle moves from O to P and P to O. So, where it started? O. And again it comes back to O. That means here, distance traversed is how much? Distance traversed is equal to O to P distance is 300 meters and P to O distance is again 300 meters. So total distance traveled in this case is 600 meters. Displacement. Here displacement is nothing but displacement is equal to change in position, that is shortest distance from point A to point B. Here initial point is nothing but O. Again the final point is also O. That means final position minus initial position. What is final position here? O. That means 0 minus. What is initial position? Again 0. So 0 minus 0 is how much? 0 meters. Here it is a case where distance is not equal to 0 but displacement is equal to 0. We can conclude that if initial and final points are same, displacement is equal to 0. Displacement is equal to 0. Let us see an example here. Suppose if a particle moves from point A to point B in semicircular path like this. Semicircle with radius R. Radius of the semicircle is R. So what is the distance traveled here? Distance traveled is equal to actual path followed by the particle from point A to point B. This is nothing but semicircular path. So the circumference of the semicircle is nothing but pi r. What is the displacement here? Displacement is nothing but the shortest distance between initial and final points. What is the shortest distance here? R plus r. Displacement is equal to 2r. If a particle moves in a semicircular path like this, distance is pi r and displacement is 2r. And another example, if a particle moves in a circular path like this, so it started from here and again it comes back to same position A. What is the distance in this case? Distance is equal to, that is actual path followed by the particle is nothing but circumference of the circle. What is the circumference of the circle? 2 pi r. What is the displacement here in this case? Displacement is equal to final position minus initial position. Final position ekkadi nunchi aithe start aitundo, initial position ekkadi nunchi aithe start aitundo, again the final position is same. That means initial position equal to final position. The displacement is equal to 0 in this case. If a particle started from one position and if it comes back to same position, the displacement is equal to 0 because initial and final positions are same. The main important thing here we need to remember is distance is always greater than or equal to displacement. And another important thing is distance never be equal to 0, but displacement is equal to 0 if initial and final positions of the particles are same. We have seen already in the case of when a particle travels in a circular motion, it comes back to same position again as the initial and final positions are same. So displacement is equal to 0 in that case. Next, uniform motion. Uniform motion. If we take a particle, consider the motion of the particle starts at t equal to 0. At t equal to 1 second, consider the position of the particle is 10 meters. At t equal to 2 seconds, let the position of the particle is 20 meters. At t equal to 3 seconds, the position of the particle is 30 meters. Here, in time interval of 1 second, from 0 to 1 seconds, the displacement is 10 meters minus 0 meters. Distance traveled is how much? 10 meters. In next time interval of 1 second, from 1 second to 2 seconds, again the distance traveled is again 10 meters. In next seconds, in next 1 second of time interval, again the distance traveled is 10 meters. If a particle covers equal distances in equal intervals of time, then the particle's motion is called as the uniform motion. We call it as uniform motion. So here, uniform motion, the motion of the particle can be represented on position versus time graph. Position versus time graph. This is the origin. This is time axis. 1 second. Consider 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, and etc. And also on y-axis, what is the position? Position is an x-axis. Consider it is 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters, and etc. Okay? At t equal to 0, position of the particle is equal to 0. At t equal to 1, position of the particle is equal to 10 meters. At t equal to 1, position of the particle equal to 10 meters. At t equal to 2, position of the particle is 20 meters. T equal to 2, position of the particle is 20 meters. At t equal to 3, the position of the particle is 30 meters. By joining all these points, we will get a straight line like this. Get a straight line like this. Okay? This represents uniform motion. Uniform motion. And another example is stationary motion. We can say that the particle is at stationary only if the position of the particle remains constant at any time. Consider this is t equal to 0 seconds, t equal to 1 second, t equal to 2 seconds, t equal to 3 seconds, t equal to 4 seconds like this. Consider 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters. Consider the particle is at x equal to 30 meters at t equal to 0 seconds. At t equal to 1 second also, the particle is at same position, x equal to 30 meters. At t equal to 2 seconds also, the particle remains at same position, x equal to 30 meters. At t equal to 3 seconds also, the particle remains at 30 meters. That means at t equal to 0, it is at 30 meters. At t equal to 1 second also, it is at 30 meters. At t equal to 2 seconds also, it is at 30 meters. At t equal to 3 seconds also, it is at 30 meters. By combining all the points, we will get a straight line like this, which is parallel to time axis. If a curve is parallel to, motion curve is parallel to time axis, we can say that the particle is at stationary. The particle is at stationary. If position versus time graph is a straight line, that is, position increases uniformly with respect to time, such motion is called as the uniform motion. Next topic is average velocity. Let a particle started its journey at t equal to t1. The position of the particle at t1 is nothing but x1. And at later time, t2, the position of the particle is x2. That means the position of the particle changing from x1 to x2. Position is changing with respect to in a time interval of t1 to t2. What is the time interval? Change in position, delta x. We call it as displacement. Displacement is equal to x2 minus x1. Final position minus initial position. Here time interval is nothing but time interval is equal to t2 minus t1. t2 minus t1 like this. So here here we can define average velocity as average velocity is equal to displacement divided by time interval. Displacement divided by time interval. Here, displacement is a vector quantity. Displacement is a vector quantity which has both magnitude and direction. And its units are, displacement units are meters and time units are seconds. So, the units of average velocity are meters per second. And it is a vector quantity. Average velocity is a vector quantity. That means it has both magnitude and direction. Why average velocity is a vector quantity? Because displacement is a vector quantity. That means displacement has direction. Here in straight line motion, the direction can be identified, either it is forward direction or backward direction. If a particle is moving in forward direction, right side direction, then the position of the particle is keep on increasing in a positive way, so the displacement is positive. If a particle moving from this point to more positive to less positive like this. Initial position is, let us consider 10 meters, and final position here it is, final position is 5 meters. Say final position is 5 meters. So in this case, the displacement is equal to how much? Final position minus initial position. That is, displacement is minus 5 meters. Magnitude is 5 meters and direction is negative. Negative sign indicates the particle is moving towards left side, moving towards origin, like this. And distance never be negative. Distance is always positive. So, displacement is a vector quantity. That means which has both magnitude and negative sign indicates direction. So, as the displacement is a vector quantity, average velocity is also a vector quantity. Now, we will see about average speed. Average speed. Average speed is nothing but average speed is equal to total distance traveled divided by time taken. Total distance traveled by time taken. The units are, SI units are meters per second, and average speed is a, distance is a scalar quantity which has only magnitude but no direction. As the distance is a scalar quantity, average speed is also a scalar quantity. Average speed is also a scalar quantity. Okay. If you want to find out the average velocity on xt graph, average velocity on xt graph, xt graph మీద average velocity కావాలంటే consider at t equal to 0, at t equal to some t, consider the position of the particle is changing like this. ఒకవేళ మనం పాయింట్ p1 నుంచి పాయింట్ p2 యావరేజ్ వెలాసిటీ కావాలనుకోండి. ఇన్ దిస్ కేస్ ద స్లోప్ ఆఫ్ ది లైన్ దట్ ఈస్ కనెక్టింగ్ corresponding points is nothing but average velocity. అంటే ఈ రెండు పాయింట్ల మధ్యలో స్లోప్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసినాం అనుకోండి, దట్ స్లోప్ గివ్స్ us యావరేజ్ వెలాసిటీ. స్లోప్ అంటే ఏంటి? చేంజ్ ఇన్ y కాంపోనెంట్ డివైడెడ్ బై చేంజ్ ఇన్ x కాంపోనెంట్. చేంజ్ ఇన్ y అంటే ఏంటి? y యాక్సిస్ లో ఏముంది ఇక్కడ మనకి? పొజిషన్. సో చేంజ్ ఇన్ పొజిషన్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ x2 minus x1 డివైడెడ్ బై, and change in x-axis. X-axis లో ఏముంది ఇక్కడ? టైమ్ ఈజ్ దేర్. So change in time, that is nothing but t2 minus t1. x2 minus x1 divided by t2 minus t1 is nothing but average velocity along x-axis. So from xt graph we can find out the average velocity. Ela find out chestam? The slope of line connecting corresponding points on the xt graph is called as the average velocity. We